So hello everyone, I am Kapish Sharma and along with Himanshu Joshi, we are going to discuss a topic which is allocating kernel memory. So earlier we have seen about allocating the memory for the user program. We have already seen how we allocate memory for various user program. We have two memory algorithms. First is techniques. First is contiguous memory allocation, in which we have learned about fixed partitioning and variable partitioning. Just like that, another one which is non-contiguous memory allocation technique, in which we learned about paging and fragmentation. But these both techniques are for only user program, which allocate memory for user program. But we know that the kernel is the main core of the operating system, which does a lot of work. So how memory is actually allocated for the kernel? So in the topic allocating kernel memory, we are going to learn about that how memory for kernel is allocated. So kernel basically stores three things: program descriptors, file objects, and semaphores. These are the things which stores in the kernel. Kernel work with these things like program descriptors, which is descriptors of a program, objects of files, and semaphores. So for allocating of the kernel memory, we have two techniques. The first is buddy system and the second one is slab system. So one by one we are going to discuss about both of the system, buddy system and slab system. So starting with the buddy system, which as you guys can see, some theory part is written here and we will discuss it, and after that we are going to do a numerical. So if just for the sake of some understanding, we are going to see what is the theory part, and then when we are going to come in the numerical part, it will be going to clear most effectively. So just take an overview that what is actually buddy system and how buddy system work, and after that a mathematical thing will make it more clear. So the buddy system is a memory allocation algorithm that works by dividing memory in the blocks. Like every algorithm divides memory in the blocks, buddy system is also divide memory in the blocks. But there is one special case here, that the blocks of the memory are always in the power of 2. That is in the buddy system. It is the special case, it is the main thing, the most important thing in the buddy system is that the block size of the memory are always in the power of 2. This point must be highlighted in all the is the most important and highlighted point of the buddy system, that the memory blocks are of the fixed size but are in the power of 2. Another thing is that how buddy system actually works. So whenever a request is made to the buddy system, it will search around the blocks of the memory which are divided into the power of 2's, and from it will take the smallest available block of memory that is large enough to satisfy the requirement. Like we are going to make it more clear once we will see the example of the buddy system. But here when the request is made, it will search through the algorithm search through the blocks of memory, and it will find the smallest available block which can satisfy our requirement. And the second, if the block size is larger, but we have a request for the smaller one, then what will the buddy system is going to do? It will split into the buddies, like buddy left and buddy right. So like that way it will split itself into the smaller sizes, and each part which is split is known as a buddy. So buddy left and buddy right, that's why it is known as the buddy system, and it will split into the buddies to make the allocation of the memory more efficient and optimized. The another most important thing about this algorithm is that it works recursively. So once after it we are going to see the example of the buddy system, and after that it is going to be clear that how exactly the buddy system will work. So now I am going to rub this part and we will see one example of allocating a memory through the buddy system. So now we are going to see one example of the buddy system, that how exactly the buddy system is going to work. So here we have a block of the memory and we got a request to allocate 25 KB of the memory. So first we are going to absorb this block of memory. So we can see that this is 256 KB of block. So it can be divided, it can be observed that it is in the power of 2, that 2 to the power 8. Again it is divided into two buddies. This 128 KB and 128 KB memory blocks are buddies. So we can say that it is the buddy which is at left and it is the buddy which is at right. So now again this 128 KB of blocks will be divided into its own buddies, which is 64 KB and 64 KB blocks, which is again equal to the 2 to the power 6, which is in the power of 2. So here, as we have seen earlier, that the memory blocks are in the size of 2 to the power of 2s. So this is the most important thing in the buddy system. Again we can see that the 64 KB is divided into two buddies, 32 KB and 32 KB, which is in the 2 to the power of 5. So we can say that this is the buddy left for 64 KB of the block and this is the buddy right for 64 KB of the block. So when the request is made for 25 KB, the algorithm will start searching for the block like with the smallest block which is large enough for the requirement. So here we can see the smallest block which is large enough for the requirement is 32 KB of the block. So this 25 KB will go to the 32 KB of the block. So this 32 KB block will be allocated for 25 KB of the requested memory. This 25 KB can be anything, as we seen and discussed earlier. It can be process descriptors, it can be semaphores, it can be object of the files, it can be anything. So what if the memory size is too small than 25 KB? So here we have one observation also, that the wastage of memory. So for this, the wastage of memory will be 32 minus 25, which is equal to 7 KB. So this is the problem of the fragmentation. We will see it in the disadvantage of the buddy system later. So let's take another example, that what if the block size of the memory is 10 KB? Then what is going to happen? So as we know that the algorithm works recursively, and if the block size is larger, then it will split into the smaller sizes static buddies. So if the requested memory is of 10 KB, then again this will split in the power of 2s. That is in 16 KB block and in 16 KB block, which is again 2 to the power 4. Now this 10 KB will be allocated to this 16 KB of a block. Here we can also find the problem of the fragmentation, that the wastage of the memory will be 16 minus 10, which is 6 KB. So this is exactly how the buddy system will work. But there are some advantages of buddy system, and again there are some disadvantages like fragmentation. So likewise we are now going to see the advantages and disadvantages of the buddy system. But the most important, again, the observation here is it will divide, every algorithm divide the memory in blocks, but this algorithm divides memory in the power of 2. We can see that this is 2 to the power 8, this is 2 to the power 7, this is 2 to the power 6, this is 2 to the power 5, and this is 2 to the power 7. Again, if we have to divide 16 KB further, then it will divide itself into the blocks of 8 KB. It work recursively and divide according to the demand. So now we are going to see some important advantages and disadvantages of the buddy system. So now we are going to see some advantage and disadvantage of this buddy system, which is a part of the which is an algorithm for allocating the kernel memory. So the first advantage of this buddy system is coalescing. So what is this exactly? It is the binding of two whole to produce a larger whole. Like if we need a larger size of a data, then we can bind a two hole, that is this is 8 kb and this is 8 kb of the block. It can be binded to produce the 16 kb of the block. As earlier we have seen that it works recursively. So this is how we can apply the recursive function to it. If the demand size is larger, then we can combine both of the blocks, left body and right body, to produce a larger block size of the memory to satisfy the requirement. However, we have a disadvantage of the internal fragmentation. Like in the first example, we have seen for like in this example, for allocating 10 kb of memory, we have seen that it will search through it recursively, and it will find that it can be like satisfy the requirement by the 16 kb of the memory size of the block. So when the 16 kb is allocated to the 10 kb, then there will be a case of the internal fragmentation or the memory wastage. Like we have 16 minus 10, which is 6 kb of the memory wastage here. So here we have the problem of the internal fragmentation in the body system. Now we are going to see what is slab system, and Himanshu will tell us more about the slab system.
Hi everyone. As you all know, we are discussing about allocating kernel memory. As my friend Kapish told you earlier, how to allocate kernel object to the kernel memory using body system. Now I am telling you a different concept, which is slab allocation. It is quite different from body system. In body system, we are store kernel objects in the power of 2 using memory. Like we are dividing the memory in the power of 2. But it is nothing like that in this case. In this, we are going to use different method. Okay. So for allocating the kernel memory, first we have to know what are the things which we have to store in the memory. The things are kernel objects. What is kernel objects? Like kernel objects are process descriptors, file objects and semaphores. These are the objects which we have to store in the kernel memory. So in this, we are going to store the objects in the cache. Now what is cache? Cache is a collection of slabs. Now you have to think, what is slab? What is slab? Slab is nothing but collection of physical contiguous pages. We collect the pages and contiguous pages, and we collect them together. That the collection of one pages that makes a one slab. Okay. Now what is cache? Cache is nothing but it is a collection of slabs. Okay. Like how we are going to store the objects in the slab, or sorry, in the cache. Like we are getting a request from the from end side to allocate the kernel object, which is of 3 kb. We are going to search the algorithm, not we are, the algorithm going to search the memory which are empty for the cache. Like if the 3 kb is empty for the cache or contiguous pages or slabs, it is going to store in it. And if it is filled, it is not going to store. Okay. And now in how cache store the objects? Cache is nothing but cache is going to store these similar object. It is going to store the similar object. Okay. It is not going to store the object like it is one cache will store process descriptor, file objects or semaphore. It is only going to store either a process descriptor or a file object or a semaphore. One cache only store one type of data object. Okay. And other will store like a file object, and other will store like a semaphore. Okay. Like it is SAB allocation system uses caches in order to store kernel object. For each data structure, there should be a separate cache. For each data structure, there should be a separate cache. Like I said, process descriptor will store only in one cache, or file objects will store in only in one cache, and semaphore will store in only in one cache. Cache only stores similar type of object. It is not going to store different type of object. Okay. Now I am going to tell you what are the advantages and disadvantages of SAB allocation system. So guys, now I am going to tell you the advantages. Before advantages, I want to tell you one more topic, that is how Linux Linux treat to this allocating system. Like Linux uses how these slabs are available in Linux. Slabs are available like that. Empty spaces are available, filled and partial. If when the request comes, the algorithm checks if is the slab are empty. If they are empty, it is going to fill it in. But firstly, the first priority of the algorithm that it will allocate the object to the partial filled object or partial filled slab. Okay, then it check for the empty space, and it is if it is filled, it is not going to store the object. Okay, now what are the advantages in the buddy system? As my friend Kapish told you that there is an internal fragmentation, but in this there is no internal fragmentation. And one more, a kernel request is satisfied in a quicker manner. In the slab allocating system, the kernel request is satisfied in more quicker than the buddy system. Thank you so much, guys, for listening us. I hope you all understand the topic clearly. Thank you.